This is Mission Control Houston. Again, this view from the elbow camera of the shuttle's 50-foot-long robot arm. The end effector with its manipulator foot restraint platform at the end, poised over the outer thermal cover of the airlock hatch of Columbia, where Jim Newman and Mike Massimino will be emerging a short time from now to begin the fourth of 5 spacewalks planned for this flight. Airlock deep minutes from now. The crew is all suited up about halfway through its pre-breathe of pure oxygen to cleanse the nitrogen out of their bloodstreams. The Hubble Space Telescope, newly refurbished with a brand new power system and new solar arrays along with a new gyroscopic steering mechanism, all set to receive a brand new scientific instrument this morning, the Advanced Camera for Surveys, a 3-channel digital camera which basically will provide 10 times the viewing power of the wide-field planetary camera still in service almost 8.5 years after it was installed in Hubble.
Coming back to you. One, two, three, four, five.
Rick, I do not see an exposed tether loop. I'm going to have to open up the cover first, okay?
Okay, Mike, I remember at one of our fans, sometimes that tether loop might slip low in the back. You might be able to see it once it comes up and get at it.
It's on the top, it just wasn't sticking out of the bag.
Gotcha.
Corrective optics instrument and the faint object camera.
4 of them.
Okay, thank you.
4, 5. 5 turns, and it was a slowly increasing torque, and it has stopped at 22.9. It is able to open up, though.
Yeah, we see that, Jim, so you're good to go. You can open that bolt. We'll make a note of that, though. So it's 5 turns, and you had an increasing torque, and did you get a... Thank you, Mike. You're off to the minus V2 aft shroud. Copy.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No issues with the bottom bolt.
All right, great, Jim.
You go up to the door?
Let's maneuver up to the handle bolt, and we'll be able to disengage that and get some more Houston on that other one.
Gentle pressure is fine.
Okay.
You're looking very slow and smooth and steady today, Mike. Very nice.
Thanks for keeping an eye on me.
Hey, you got your tether there for holding it open?
Yes, I do.
And it gives you your door. Oh, wait, I got to put the stick in there.
Okay.
Good catch, Jim. And guys, after you get the doors open and Mike temps those at Y-harness, you're going to start on the FOC removal.
Okay, Mike, it's your door.
Okay, thank you.
Knees. You just hold it like that.
Thank you. P1 coming now.
Roger.
Okay, Rick, P4, P3, P1 disconnected.
Okay, copy. P3 and P1 in addition to P4. Thank you.
Yeah, P2 complete. Okay, we've got all 4 connectors disconnected.
Good work, Mike. All 4, P2. I have a caution to read. It's purge line release clip. May pinch your glove RTV. And with that, you're good to disconnect the purge line and stow it. I have settings when you're ready.
Copy. This is 1. 2. Same number of turns again, Rick?
6 turns, Mike.
3. 4. 5. 6. Okay, Jim, I'm going to pull the PGT off, and if you can bring me back down, I'll stow it. And bring me out a little bit if possible.
Copy. 6 turns, Mike, and you can temp stow that ground strap.
Okay.
This is Mission Control Houston. Mike Massimino continuing to use a pistol grip tool 1 hour, 8 minutes into this morning's spacewalk to disconnect electrical connections and a ground strap holding the faint object camera in place in the aft shroud of the Hubble Space Telescope. The first in a series of steps that will allow the faint object camera to be slid out of its compartment of the aft shroud on guide rails by Jim Newman, who is at the end of the shuttle's robot arm. You're looking at the helmet-mounted camera view from Mike Massimino's camera as he continues to work deep into the Hubble Space Telescope and the early stages of the faint object camera removal. A smooth start to this morning's spacewalk. Here in the Mission Control Center, Spacewalk Officer Dana Weigel reports that we're right on the timeline following a 30-minute delay, or a 30-minute late start, actually, in getting out the door, simply because the astronauts worked deliberately to prepare themselves for this morning's excursion.
So I don't know if you want us, we can stow this and bring it in, or we could try to reattach it. I don't know.
Okay, Mike, we came.
I think I have head clearance. A lot.
Head clearance looks good. Looks like about at least 6 inches.
Good, I might take a few of those inches. And Mike, do you see what this is on? There it is. Okay.
Want me to check?
I got what I need.
Okay.
Okay, Jim, you're going to manually disengage the A-latch, 1/2 turn, and please check before you do that that the A-latch lights, 2 of them, are off.
I see the A-latch lights off.
Okay, 2 A-latch lights off, thanks. You'll manually disengage the A-latch 1/2 turn, and then we'll reconfigure the PRT to continue turns to hard stop.
Now this is unexpected. I've got a short adjustable with a wobble on the end of it. Am I supposed to have that?
Again, you're looking at a view of the faint object camera in the aft shroud. The doors open to the Hubble Space Telescope. Jim Newman working at the end of the shuttle's robot arm using a pistol grip tool to disengage the final latches holding the faint object camera in place. Once it is disengaged, those latches, Newman then will be able to slide the faint object camera out of its guide rails and mount it on a temporary bracket on the side of Columbia's cargo bay to set the stage for the retrieval and installation of the advanced camera for surveys in that same slot.
2, 3, 4, 5. Lights are on. I noticed them first at 5, 6,
Thank you, lights on.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got 13 and 7/8 plus a half.
Imperfect.
I want the really slow rates going into the telescope, and these are slow enough for this maneuver, no problem.
Jim Newman now lifting the brand new advanced camera for surveys out of its enclosure in the cargo bay of the shuttle Columbia, carefully sliding it out of its protective box, ready to install it in the Hubble Space Telescope to replace the faint object camera, which is temporarily stowed on a mounting bracket on the side of Columbia's cargo bay.
Maybe just yaw a little bit to your left.
Agree.
Jim, we got a little bit of roll.
You out of the left, Jim, and roll. And
Yeah, roll towards the port side.
What axis are you using?
We're using orbiter axis and your body axis.
Yeah, these in orbiter coordinates.
So tell me what you want me to do with it.
Want to roll it left. In your body axis.
Body axis.
Sorry. There you go, that's it. You guys agree inside?
Looks fine.
The advanced camera for surveys is about the size of a large phone booth.
High enough. You can please inspect the A-type interior and inspect the A, B, and C latches.
Copy. Okay, there you go, you're fixing it.
Am I totally clear, Mike?
You're still below the lid, and the instrument's pitched down a little bit now.
Is now 3/4 of the way into the Hubble Space Telescope.
Okay, the front face of the instrument is parallel with the inside, the outer edge of the telescope.
Okay, in about 3 or 4 inches, maybe 5, Nancy will have to reconfigure.
Copy.
The RMS pause here.
RMS paused.
Okay, Jim, the back of the instrument is just the inner center guide rail. You're going to feel the ramp there now. Do you feel that?
Let's go to the install orientation.
Copy.
I'm going to put a light touch on the L handle here.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not even going to do anything.
Lighter than that. Yeah, that's it.
Okay.
That's good. Yeah, yeah.
P4 connected.
Once the Hubble Space Telescope is released back into orbit on Saturday,
Probably some.
it will take about 9.5 weeks to properly configure the optical sensors in the advanced camera for surveys, for the scientists to conduct a thorough checkout.
Houston for IV. Rick, the
Stand
photo
by right
TV
there. Stop
15
there,
for
Mike.
the WVS
Don't move.
shots of the connector panel. We've already got that. We're satisfied with what we've seen. You can press.
Okay, Mike, come on up.
Very good, Mario. We'll press.
Yeah, the Velcro attached itself firmly to your colors.
Again,
Velcro.
the engineers at the Space Telescope Operations Control Center, in concert with
You got to restrain the test.
the scientists involved in the Advanced Camera for Surveys project, will begin a lengthy verification period in which they will fine-tune the optics on the camera to bring it into true focus. And it should take about 9 weeks or so before the Advanced Camera for Surveys will take its first observation. The Hubble science program resumes in incremental fashion following the deployment of Hubble on Saturday morning. The Space Telescope imaging spectrograph will take about 3 weeks to put back into service for its resumption of scientific observations. The Wide Field Planetary Camera will take about 3.5 weeks before it is back in operation. The Near-Infrared Camera and Multi-Object Spectrometer, assuming a successful revival of that instrument tomorrow, will be back in action, resuming its infrared observations of the universe in about 6.5 weeks. And again, the new Advanced Camera for Surveys will be up and running for science operations in about 9.5 weeks.
Okay, bend your knees, Mike. Thank you.
No, hitch pins, but I don't think
Not required.
they're velcroed in their little spots. The hitch pins are velcroed, but
Yeah, tip pins are redundant. Nothing else required.
okay.
Great.
Okay, I think you need a pitch up, Jim. I can put the finger on
I'll
that.
come down a little bit lower. And Mike,
Here.
okay, I see we've got clearance on the boot plate too.
I agree. Got a left hand on the PSC attachment here, John.
Copy. It's a good place.
I see it coming in nice and straight.
Mike, keep an eye out for the be ready.
Okay, I see lights still on.
Thank you.
Coming in nice.
Here we go. Okay, Nance, I'm ready to go forward.
Be ready out.
And I see that Mike.
See Jim clear. Do you agree?
Go ahead and do it like a potato chip.
I'm going to close on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sounds good. Go ahead, Mario.
And this is a little premature because you're not there yet, but you have a go for CoStar connector demate.
Copy. Go for CoStar connector demate on 7-58. Thank you.
That call, the go for the CoStar connector demate, refers to the demating of an electrical connection to the corrective optics instrument in the Hubble Space Telescope located in the aft shroud right next to the newly installed advanced camera for surveys. That electrical connection then will be hooked up to the electronics box to be retrieved a short time from now by the astronauts. That will be installed in front of the new scientific camera, the advanced camera for surveys. Again, that electronics box to serve as the source of electricity for the NICMOS cryocooler and its associated radiator once they're installed in and on the outside of the telescope tomorrow.
Very good.
The CoStar no longer requires electricity since it is no longer needed for scientific operations to correct the blurred vision of Hubble's scientific primary mirror, which was launched with spherical aberration. The last scientific instrument that required the use of CoStar as a sort of contact lens was the faint object camera, which has now been removed and stowed for its return to Earth. Newman working at the very rear of Columbia's cargo bay. You're looking at the view from Jim Newman working at the very rear of Columbia's cargo bay. You're looking at the view from the helmet-mounted camera on Mike Massimino as he has maneuvered down towards Newman to help retrieve the electronic support module from the cargo carrier at the very rear of the cargo bay. That module then will be brought back up to the aft shroud of the telescope and installed right in front of the advanced camera for surveys again.
Scooter, come up too.
Sure, will be up in a minute. I'll review your custom one more time. Okay, while you're storing your PGT, when you transfer the ESM to Mike, avoid ESM contact with the radiator, and also...
How far to go? Up to you.
Okay. I'll try to pinch down here a little bit. I've got a hand on the handrail latch.
At the handle.
And I have the handle.
Okay, so now don't move it when I first let
I
go.
will not.
away.
Like this?
No, bring him towards me a little bit. Point it straight away from your body. Grab the handle, pull it to Mike.
Yes, sir.
Mike Massimino at the end of the shuttle's robot arm being transported by robot arm operator Nancy Curry back to the aft shroud of the Hubble Space Telescope with a firm grasp on the electronic support module. This is the component that will be installed in front of the newly installed advanced camera for surveys in the aft shroud. You see the open doors there. It will be installed and latched in place. It then will be connected with an electrical harness that had been supplying power to the corrective optics package just next to the advanced camera for surveys, the COSTAR instrument that was first launched on the STS-109 mission in December of 1993 to correct the blurred vision caused by the spherical aberration in Hubble's primary mirror. The electronics box being held by Massimino in this view from the elbow camera of the shuttle's robot arm will supply the power to the cryo-cooling device and the radiator for the NICMOS instrument in the repair work that John Grunsfeld and Rick Linehan will undertake tomorrow in the fifth and final spacewalk of this mission. The NICMOS, or Near Infrared Camera and Multi-Object Spectrometer, ceased to operate in January of 1999 when its supply of supercold nitrogen ran out to chill the infrared detectors on that instrument because of a short circuit in the nitrogen dewar associated with that component. The cryocooler that will be installed tomorrow, an engine which revs up to about 400,000 RPM to generate neon gas to chill those infrared detectors, and the associated heat from all of that is dissipated through a 13-foot high radiator that will be mounted on the side of the Hubble Space Telescope. But all the electricity for the cryocooler and the radiator to revive the NICMOS to life after 2 years of dormancy is housed in that electronics module that Massimino is about to install in the aft shroud of the Hubble right in front of the new advanced camera for surveys.
Keep the ESM off the way as you can.
Columbia is currently passing over Brazil at an altitude of 361 statute miles, all of its systems working fine.
Copy 3/4. Reset to 5.5 on the MTL.
Jim Newman using a pistol grip tool to engage lockdown bolts on the latches for the electronic support module.
And Mike, I can give you settings when you're ready. Jim, outboard bolt, 3/4 to 1.25 turns.
John, I'm going to release my tether. I'm good to do that, right?
You're good to do that.
For scientific observations after a
Okay, J1 complete, all 4 complete. Good job.
Okay, roll me flat, Mike.
Looks like you already routed the Y harness across.
Okay, roll me flat, thanks.
Coming, I'm just going to do it slow.
Appreciate it.
If you're listening here, sounds like